Good morning, students. In the last lecture, we discussed about the definition of reproduction and the importance of reproduction. So today we are going to discuss about the male reproductive system, female reproductive system, and then we will discuss about male and female gametes. And after that, we will discuss about the process of fertilization. So let me first discuss about the male reproductive system. These are the main parts of male reproductive system. So these are the glands: seminal vesicle gland, prostate gland, epididymis, scrotum, sperm duct, erectile tissue, penis, urethra, and testes. So let me discuss first of all testes. Testis is the part of male reproductive system where the development of male gametes, where the development of means the production of sperm happen in testes, and after that, that sperm will move toward the epididymis. So in the epididymis, it's stored temporarily. It remain here for the maturation, and after that, it will release to the sperm duct. Through sperm duct, it entered to the urethra. And when it is entering to the urethra, on the way, different glands like seminal vesicle gland, prostate gland, they produce their secretion. That secretion nourish the sperm, and second, it lubricate the sperm, and it's also provide a medium of transport for the sperm to swim. Now, the collection of this fluid plus sperm, it's collectively called semen. So semen will release through urethra outside, like during sexual intercourse, to finish that semen will ejaculate to the female vagina. Now, let me discuss about the scrotum. You know, the scrotum hold this, like it support the testes, it keep the testes outside from the body. You know, like for the sperm development, it need a little bit less temperature is that of our body temperature. So that's why it is outside from the body. Now the erectile tissue, it's the part of penis. It helps in the erection of penis during sexual intercourse. Okay. Now, like such question can you face in the exam, like mostly like labeling of male reproductive system. So let me label all these part one by one. This part of male reproductive, it's a penis. This part gland, sperm duct, scrotum, and testes. While this one is urethra. Is it clear? Now let me discuss about the female reproductive system. And female reproductive system, the most important part of female reproductive system is ovary. Ovary is the place where the production of ova happen. Means here the ova produce. This is cervix, this is vagina, this is oviduct, uterus. Now, vagina is the place where sexual intercourse takes place. It's a place during sexual intercourse, semen release here, and after that, the sperm will move toward the oviduct by passing through cervix, and then it will pass through uterus, and after that, it will enter to the oviduct. Oviduct is actually the place where the process of fertilization takes place. Egg will release from the ovary, and that will enter to the oviduct. So in the oviduct, the fusion of male and female gamete happen here. Like here, the fusion of sperm and ova happen and produce zygote. And after that, that zygote will start mitotic division and it will start movement toward the uterus for the implantation. That embryo will now start movement toward the uterus for the implantation. Now, this embryo move toward the uterus. There here inside the oviduct, there is a hair-like projection called cilia. So by the movement of cilia that move toward the uterus. Second, by the peristaltic movement of oviduct. Peristaltic movement of oviduct means by the contraction and relaxation of the oviduct, right? Oviduct is also called fallopian tube. Now, after that, the embryo will reach to the uterus, and here with the lining of uterus, the embryo will implant here. Now, this is all about the female reproductive system. You can face such a question also in the exam, how to label the female reproductive system. So this part I will label it with ovary. This part I will label it vagina, where sexual intercourse take place. Uterus lining for the implantation. Uterus and oviduct, where the process of fertilization take place. And cervix. Okay. Now, let me discuss about the male gametes. The male gametes is called sperm. It is a tadpole-shaped structure. So this is the head of the sperm. The first one, this part is the head of the sperm that contain haploid nuclei. Haploid nuclei means that contain one set of chromosome that contain 23 number of chromosomes. Now, this is the cytoplasm. This is the nucleus, while inside the cytoplasm here is a sac-like structure. This is called acrosome. Acrosome, this is called acrosome. Acrosome contain digestive enzyme that help the fusion of sperm with the ova membrane and also digestion of the protective layer of the ova, so that the haploid nuclei enter to the ova. Okay, and this is the mid piece of sperm. This part is the mid piece. This mid piece contains several mitochondria, and we know already mitochondria provide energy. So here these several mitochondria provide energy for the tail to move. For the swimming of the sperm, it provides energy. Now, let me discuss about the female gametes. The female gamete is called ovum. It's spherical in shape and that is surrounded by specialized cells for their maturation. That specialized cells are called follicle cells, right? It's produced in small number is compared to sperm. So only one ova produced normally within female, means only one ova mature and released to the oviduct per month from female ovary. It's surrounded by follicle cells for maturation. This is haploid nuclei of ova. Here also this contain 23 number of chromosomes within human. This is the cytoplasm that contains store food for the initial development of embryo. This is the cell membrane. And this one is jelly coat of the ova. Is it clear? Now let me discuss the adaptation of sperm and egg cell. So let me move back toward the sperm. The first adaptation here in the sperm is that having streamlined body. So if you see it's a narrow from the end, so it decreases the resistance. It moves so that the sperm move without any resistance. Okay, inside this cytoplasm, it is acrosome, and the acrosome actually contain digestive enzyme that help the fusion of sperm with the cell membrane of ovum. While This med paste contains several mitochondria that provide energy for the sperm swimming. So these are the adaptation of sperm. Now, let me discuss the adaptation of sperm and egg cell here. So the egg cell cannot move because they're having no mitochondria, and egg cells is spherical in shape. Egg cell is spherical in shape, they cannot move, and they're having no digestive enzyme, it's like the sperm. Okay, so I will put it here, the sperm unable to move, right? Sorry, the egg cell unable to move. Sperm contain enzyme, digestive enzyme within acrosome for the breakdown of cell membrane. So please make correction here, this is not cell wall, it is a cell membrane for the breakdown of a cell membrane. Okay, and it's produced in a small amount, and it's a streamline. Millions of egg cell produce million of sperm cell produce. It's produced one at a time and contain stored food within the cytoplasm. It's large in size as compared to sperm, and sperm having tail for the swimming. So these are the adaptation of sperm and egg cell. Now, let me discuss about the difference between male and female reproductive system. So the glands is present in male reproductive system, like seminal vesicle gland, prostate gland, these are present in the male reproductive system. Ovary present in female reproductive system, sperm duct present in male reproductive system, testis present within male, and cervix is the part of female reproductive system. Uterus is the part of female reproductive system where implantation happen, while oviduct is the part of female reproductive system where the process of fertilization happen, and scrotum is the part of male reproductive system that support the testes. Okay, now let me make the function of each part of the reproductive system. So testes actually produce the sperm. So I will check for this option at produce the sperm. Ovary, it produce egg cell. So let me check, yeah, for this option, it's produce egg cell. Urethra, urethra actually it release the sperm or semen from outside. So I will check for this option to carry the sperm from no, to carry sperm outside from the body. So I will select this option. Oviduct, the process of fertilization take place. So let me check for this option. All right, also the process of fertilization, and also it carry the egg cell to the uterus. So I will select this option. Glands, it produces fluid to the sperm, so I will select it. And sperm duct, it carries sperm from testes. Scrotum, it protects the testes, so I will select it. Okay, now let me discuss about the process of fertilization. Fertilization is the fusion of male and female gametes where the sperm and ova fuse here within fallopian tube. So fertilization occurs when egg cell and sperm cell fuse together here. So stage 1, egg cell release from the ova and it reach to the oviduct, and that start traveling to the uterus, but on the way the process of fertilization will happen. The egg cell is surrounded by protective outer membrane. This membrane has an important role. It enables the sperm cell to stick to the egg cell. Only one sperm can fertilize the egg. It penetrates the egg's outer membrane by releasing enzyme that is present in the acrosome. This also stops other sperm from penetrating the cell membrane. The head of the sperm cell fuse with the inner membrane of the egg cell and allowing the sperm nuclei to pass to the egg cytoplasm. The tail of the sperm disintegrate. Here, the nuclei of egg cell and sperm cell fuse means 23 number of chromosome from female and 23 number of chromosome from male, both fuse and produce diploid nuclei, and the cell is now called zygote. It's actually, zygote is actually fertilized egg. The fertilized egg cell grow by cell division, and that cell division is actually the process of mitosis and becoming embryo. It moved to the uterus and implant in the lining. As the embryo develop, it become a fetus. Now, let me discuss about how are identical twins produced. Identical twins are produced when the mother gives birth to two offspring from the same pregnancy. It's normal the head of one sperm cell fused with the inner membrane of egg cell, allowing the sperm nuclei to pass into the egg cytoplasm. The nuclei of the egg cell and the sperm fuse is normal, and the fertilized egg began to grow by cell division. However, the cells separate into two groups. Normally, it's not separating into two groups, but here during the process of that division, during the process of cleavage, this divide into two, and both of them develop into separate fetus. So the two groups develop into two separate embryo, and both embryo move toward the uterus and implant in the lining. Now these are identical twins, both like these are similar with each other because both develop from same sperm and same ova. Now, how are non-identical twins are produced? Non-identical twins are produced when two sperm cells fertilize two different egg cells. Normally, one ova produced per month from the ovary of female, but in exceptional case, sometimes two ova produced, and that both were fertilized by sperm and that develop into embryo and then fetus. So let me discuss during fertilization, the male and female. Okay. The unique nuclei of each sperm fuse with the nuclei of separate ova. Okay, now the fertilized egg from zygote grow by cell division, and the fusion of both nuclei take place here. So two different zygote produced here. The complex cells division and specialization of cells create two different embryo. Both embryo move to the uterus and implant in the lining. All right, so fertilization and implantation. During ovulation, an egg cell is released from the ovary. The egg cell travels into the oviduct. During sexual intercourse, ejaculated sperm are released into the vagina and start to swim toward the oviduct. The sperm travel to the oviduct and one penetrate the egg. The sperm nuclei fuses with the egg nuclei, creating a fertilized egg called zygote. The zygote undergo a cell division and begin to form a ball of cell. That zygote is now called embryo. It begins to move toward the uterus by the peristaltic movement of oviduct and the cilia that is present in the oviduct by the movement of that cilia. The embryo become implanted into the soft lining of the uterus, and here it develops a placenta and become known as fetus. All right, so what is ovulation? Ovulation is actually when egg when the release of egg cell from the ovary. What is the implantation? The embryo sink into the uterus lining. What is ejaculation? The release of sperm through penis. Fertilization, when egg and sperm cell fuse with each other. Okay, so this is all about the process of fertilization and male and female reproductive system and male and female gametes. So we will discuss further in next lecture about the role of placenta. We will discuss about amniotic fluid, amniotic sac, and then we will discuss about the menstrual cycle. Okay, thank you so much.